mother, they rape your father, they rape your brother, they rape your sister, they rape your auntie, they rape your tanty, they rob you of all your jewels, they take your car if you have a license firearm, they take your firearm, and they go on with that. And those that are supposed to vote for this bill, for the next year, you all are pleased and it's okay with that. What are they smoking? You cannot come and tell Saieed, well, hear this now. Saieed, mass mandatory, here we go. They come to an end. And then you come and tell me, here we go on side. If you go to the supermarket, the grocery, or the malls, you have to wear your mask. Saieed, if you go to a pharmacy, you have to wear your mask. Saieed, if you're traveling, you have to wear your mask. If you're in the transportation hub, you have to wear your mask. If you're going to church side, you have to wear your mask. If you're in the school side, you're wearing your mask. If you go to a barber salon, you go to the theater, you're wearing your mask. Which dum-dum in Trinidad and Tobago will go in a theater and buy a popcorn and a juice and sit down and wear a mask? Thanks! If every councillor go through their constituency, do video clips like this and send it for us, I'm gonna be so happy just to play it on our program on a Wednesday night. You know why I would be happy? I will be filled with joy in my heart. You know why? Because the councillor is getting off their butts and they are actually going and doing some live video shoots. Real Talk took the initiative to find out suppliers of wheat in the world that National Flour Mill could go to. So now Romano is saying the company is not going to raise any price in the near future. Why? Why? Is it because the S-boss and they realize now that, hey, it is in the public domain that we could go right Mexico and buy flour and wheat? We could go right China and buy wheat? I am about change. And thus far, Real Talk is very effective in Trinidad and Tobago coming towards making changes for the citizens. Public Utility Minister Marvin Gonzalez have urged the population to appreciate and be grateful for the availability of the utilities. This, as Gonzalez recalled, time in his life when he had to fetch water using a bucket from a nearby river. Gonzalez, I want you to understand something. I want you, Mr. Gonzalez, to understand something. You are being paid thousands of dollars by public utility, by the finance ministry, to govern WASA. Come on. To govern WASA, I want you to understand that you ain't going in no office for no free code. You are being paid. Do not tell me that I, Saieed, have to be grateful for the water I get it. Let me tell you something, Gonzalez. Every 4 months, I have to pay $400 and I get water once a bloody month. So don't come on a media briefing and say, Saieed, you have to be contented. You have to be happy. Marvin, the next best thing for you to do is to resign and get the hell out of here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk with Saieed. We do want to thank you for joining us tonight, viewers. Remember, share our live stream. It is important to us. And you also. Also, Real Talk Financing. Excuse me there. Also, Real Talk Financing is offering you 4% on fixed deposit, viewers. Remember that fixed deposit is 5 years and over to get 4%. If you have $100,000 and you invested in Real Talk Financing, you could get up to $20,000 in 5 years interest. And the good thing about this, Trinidad and Tobago, is that you're getting your interest up front. You're getting your interest up front. You don't have to wait for the 5 years to be completed. Remember that. We are the only financial institution in Trinidad and Tobago that is doing this. No banks ain't competing with us. You know why? Not everybody will have a vision. Always remember that. Not everybody. So as we start our program tonight, Caribbean Community, CARICOM Chairman, Mr. Mitchell, is urging citizens of the region to remain alert regarding the outbreak of Mpox, which has been classified as a public health emergency of international concern. In a statement, Prime Minister of Grenada said that the Grenada-based CARICOM Secretary will work with the Trinidad-based Caribbean Public Health Agency, that's CARPHA, to ensure a well-coordinated regional and international response. Mitchell said that though collective reports and efforts are heightened, the awareness the Caribbean community can effectively safeguard the health and well-being of our communities against these public health concerns. Although CARPHA has reported no case of Mpox, Clad 1B in the Caribbean to date, Prime Minister Michel said, enhanced surveillance for rapid identification of possible cases is essential to ensure the safety and health security of our citizens. So viewers, there's the flu going around because it's the rainy season. There is dengue going around, the Aedes aegypti mosquito. Now there's Mpox, monkeypox as they say, going around. So viewers, we have to be careful in Trinidad and Tobago of this virus. Our health is important. And again, I would stress, keep your property clean. Your old pan, your old buckets, throw it away. Cover your barrel, cover your tubs, secure water. Make sure nothing is open where mosquito could breathe in. Instead of the government coming or the health sectors coming to give you a ticket to clean up your own property, why not you take responsibility for that? And keep your surrounding clean. You might save yourself from dying. You might save yourself from getting dengue. You might save yourself from getting Mpox, monkeypox as we should say. So your health, it depends on you. Remember that. Your health is your priority. Nobody one else but you. So if you want to play with your own health, it's not a problem. You can go right ahead and you could go ahead and get dengue. You could breed mosquitoes home by you. That's your problem. But for the safety of your life, because you want to live to drive your car, you want to live to enjoy your house, you want to live to go to the party that's coming up next weekend, keep your surrounding clean now. The Ministry of Health has confirmed another dengue death in the country. See? Same thing I was just saying. Your health is your responsibility. Taking the number of those who have succumbed to the virus this year to 9. In a statement, the ministry also confirmed that there are 911 laboratory confirmed cases of dengue fever. The number of lab confirmed case jumped by 86 cases from the ministry's last statement 6 days ago. On Wednesday,
it was reported that a 40-year-old father of 5, Kern, had died after being affiliated with a symptom of dengue fever. Before the 8-year-old Nalisha from Princestown died from dengue. We wouldn't say their full name, but we'll just mention. County Victoria has the highest number of dengue cases in Trinidad and Tobago thus far. Opposition East MP Dr. Rudal Monilal blamed the government handling of the outbreak, calling it a major failure. Earlier this week, the health minister dismissed claims that there is a shortage of nurse or medical staff to attend to dengue patients. Even at the Trinidad and Tobago National Nursing Association, President raised concerns about the pressure nurses are under due to the high level of patients reporting to a health institution seeking treatment for dengue symptoms. Trinidad and Tobago dengue is a real thing. People are dying. The symptoms are real. Your safety is your health. Your safety belongs to you and your family and the neighborhood. So when the rubbish truck passing or the garbage truck, as we would say in broken terms, the rubbish truck. And if me say rubbish truck, somebody wouldn't understand. If I say garbage truck now, all might want to know what is that. Tall man? They might want to know what's that rubbish truck. But nevertheless, keep your surroundings clean, it will benefit you. So Trinidad and Tobago, the level of tint. Tickets are sharing for tint. That is the next criminal thing. If your glass tinted past 15% or past 20%, it is a criminal thing. So I didn't know since when tint is a criminal thing. Since when tint causing crime. Watch me now, we have some full duncy head. We have, let me find a better word to say it. We have in Trinidad, in positions, some fully educated duncy head people. Tint is causing crime. I don't know how a dark piece of plastic on a glass would cause crime. Like I said, we have some fully educated, duncy head people in high-level position in Trinidad and Tobago. So here we go. For all drivers in Trinidad and Tobago, did you know that there are approved levels for window tint on your vehicle? Your front windscreen, 70%. Windscreen visor, anti-glare band, 35%. You know, on top of your windscreen, there is, I believe there's a 6 or 7 inches strip in your front windscreen. That is 35%. Your front windscreen could tint up to 70%. Now, the front window, driver and passenger side, 35%. Back rear window, back passenger, 20%. Back rear windscreen, 20%. Say, now, staying within this level keeps you legal and ensure your safety on the road. Again, I will say we have some fully educated, duncy head people in position. However, recently, someone's front glass was checked for tint level. The machine read 28.4, and even though the regulation said 35, the tint was still removed. Look at this. Look at this, look at this, 28.4. Hold on, pause it there. That's not it. Later on, I'll tell you what to pause. So he zero it down, and boom, front windscreen. So I find that was kind of tricky. 28.4. Now that is the front door. Front door. Good. Front window. Driver and passenger. You have to be 35. So is it? Now look at this now. Watch a little something, Trinidad and Tobago. Watch a little something, eh? I want a little watch a little something here. Look at the marking on that. 61.1%. That is the level of tint. Look at this. Look at this. What did the machine say? 53.8. Trinidad and Tobago, we did do research, you know. Take all the time. Now look at this other machine. Look at this other machine. Make it make sense, Trinidad and Tobago. Make it make sense. Tint level saying 61. You pause it? Well, let me tell you something. Now, sometimes we just have to wonder, you know. We just have to wonder. Tint level in 61. The machine saying, let it run. 61 by 61. So we in Trinidad here, when I saw this now, I am wondering now, what device or how professional or how secure is this device that licensing has and that is giving us ticket? What device? You just saw a demonstration with two machines and a tint that had the number 61.1 on it. The red machine gave you 53.8 and the blue machine gave you 61.1 and the tint was 61.1. 61. So I am wondering now, that machine that licensing officers are using, is it the correct machine? Trinidad and Tobago, are you getting false ticket? Are you getting false reading from a ticket meter? Are you getting false ticket from a false machine? I don't know, I'm asking the questions. And you just saw it documented there right in front of you. The licensing authority tests this machine on tint before coming out to the public. I'm asking questions now because I've seen proof. This is something now, viewers, to think about. If a police officer could stop you and give you an innocent wrong ticket, well, apparently this machine is doing the same thing. Ask yourself that. Ask yourself that. Now, with effect since July 29th, drivers will face a $2,000 fine and docked 3 demerit points if their vehicle does not meet light transmittancy requirement permitted by the new tint regulation. Again, I ask, the device that the licensing officers are using, is that machine giving you the correct reading? Because we just saw a video. We just saw a video with 2 machines. One giving you the correct reading, one giving you another reading. And the one that is giving you the other reading, the red one, that is the device that the licensing officers are using. So then question me now. Let's run that video one more time, director. Look at the license officer there. You see the machine? Start from the beginning now. 28.4. You see the machine? Good. I'm glad you see it now. I'm glad you see it. Now look at this. That's the beginning of it. You see the tint? You see the tint? 61.1%. Now look at the reading that you're getting. Look at the reading Trinidad and Tobago. That isn't correct. Not by a long shot, that is correct. Now look at the same 61.1 tint on another machine. Licensing officer look going and get blast real bad, you know. Real bad, all going and get blast. Look at that. We missed part of it. So you understand what I'm saying, viewers? You understand? Ask yourself now, if the tint ticket you're getting, if the machine is reading a different number. Look at the device there now. And it's the very same device I showed you all just now. The very same device. It's sad, eh? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? We got to swallow it? No, we're not swallowing it. We're not swallowing it. Failure to maintain windscreen or window fee from scratches can also lead drivers to a $450 fine without demerit point deduction. An unauthorized use of curtains and screens will cost you $750 and 2 demerit point. According to National Security Ministry Fitzgerald Hines, the windscreen and window tint regulation 2020 will also be part of the Ministry of National Security fight against what? The criminal element. Well, listen to this.
And over the years, there has in fact developed in Trinidad and Tobago the use and abuse of heavily tinted vehicles. Very many cases linking them to criminal attacks on businesses and individuals, underscoring the absolute need for enhanced transparency, especially on our nation's roads. We also understand full well that every violent act of that sort accentuates the urgency for law enforcement to respond as law enforcement must. And heavily tinted glass around the car makes it difficult to detect weapons, contraband, threatening persons, and threatening actions by the drivers or passengers of those vehicles. So whether the crime is murder, they're moving to or away from the scene, kidnappings, gun trafficking, home invasions, drug trafficking, they all, as we all know, use the roads. And therefore these measures to take better hand and better control of what is happening on the roads is very, very important to us.
So viewers, we are going for a short commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to hear the PM. Removing the 3 ships would not cost hundreds of millions. We're going to hear more about this when we return.
Become a member of Real Talk Credit Union. now located at number 14 Coroni Savannah Road, Chaguanas. Open a fixed deposit with Real Talk Investments and get 4% on interest with interest payment being paid up front. Get in contact with us at 238-6716, 231-6219 or 339-1670. Real Talk Credit Union Cooperative Society Limited. Plant a seed today for a better tomorrow.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Real Talk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Real Talk Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Coroni Savannah Road, Chaguanas or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery. At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the glaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
Caller, good night.
Hello, good night, Mr. Saeed.
Go right ahead, you're live.
Right, congratulations, man. You is number one in the world. Let everybody know that you is number one in the world. Right? Mr. Saeed, one thing I want to find out, is it true that when you go to apply for your passport now, the man tell me I went in the Chaguanas office for a form and he tell me he's not doing that again. I want you to find out if that is true. And the next point is, all the ministers and the police and all them have tint in the car. You can't see who's driving and you can't see nothing inside the car. But they want to give you tickets and they want to tell you.
Thank you, my friend. First question is, I believe you can set up an online appointment for your passport now, or fill out the form. You could go by a travel agent, a school teacher, principal. They could do a recommendation for you where they sign it off, and you could go to the passport office and get your passport. Secondly, I'm going to tell you something. We live in a tropical country. A tropical country. And what ministers don't understand, and the educated, donkey head people we have in high places, they don't understand that the sun will penetrate through your glass and burn your skin. They will burn up our baby's skin in the back seat. This is a heated country. The heat blasting us down here fully without protection of an umbrella or a tint on your windscreen. So those educated, donkey-head people in high places, they have no other choice but to bring out foolish laws and legislation to govern a tropical country And that is the difference between an educated, down-to-earth person and an educated person. That is the difference. It's sad that we have educated, down-to-earth people in high position. It's really sad. That is the best they could do. And as for me, I will tell you, Trinidad and Tobago, the Tint law is another way for the government to bring in revenue into the treasury. Keith could say what he wants. Licensing authority could say what they want. Ministers could say what they want. That is a new strategy to bring revenue to the treasury for the finance ministry to spend. And I am saying this without fear. I am saying it without hesitation. Bold and brave, I am saying it. Clongin would have his mouth in his head to bump his gum. Same as the rest. So I cannot see how a tint on your windscreen is causing crime. I cannot see that. But nevertheless, Prime Minister Dr. Saieed Ali have stated that making changes to the Trinidad and Tobago coat of arms will not cost hundreds of millions of dollars. The cost of removing Columbus' tree ship from the national emblem is one of the concerns expressed by citizens since the announcement was made. The ships are to be replaced with the national instrument, the steel pan. There is also a debate on whether such a change is a priority given that the country has other critical issues to address, such as crime. The PM said, the government is not without sense or reason to just go and incur hundreds of millions of dollars accidentally. Hey, Saieed Ali, listen this. You all bring a new technology. A new technology you all brought on to go what? Cashless. Clongin and his ministry push a button and $3 billion went missing. So I believe when you make the statement that the PM said the government is not without sense or reason to just go and incur hundreds of millions of dollars accidentally. Clongin ministry. They push a button and $3 billion gone missing. What do you have to say about that? And you want Trinidad and Tobago to go cashless, or let's think and come again. Now, there are other ways to do this without that kind of cost. He said, pressured further, Rowley said, just think of the alternative approach to spending hundreds of millions of dollars. Former parliamentarians are people from across the board took to social media to engage in a debate while some political party issued release expressing their concerns. The National Alliance for Transformation, NTA, led by former Police Commissioner Gary Griffith, issued a release yesterday criticizing the move as a tactical move. Caller, good night.
Mr. Saeed.
Right ahead.
I saw on a video, right?
Yes.
On social media, the commentator was saying a yacht coming to Trinidad for a short man from Maraval, and the yacht looking bigger.
I saw the same thing.
Right now, do the man who bring in the yacht, do we have to pay property tax on that?
I saw the same thing. When the yacht, if and when it reaches in Trinidad, we're gonna know who one it is. Until then, I am not gonna assume who one it is. Thank you, my friend. So we're going back to Kamala. Opposition leader Kamala Persad-Bissessar have added, or again, warned the electorate not to be distracted by the gimmick being thrown out by the People's National Movement to shift focus from the real issue affecting the country. Remember, viewers, I told you all, it doesn't matter what the government is bringing at you. The pothole in your community needs fixing. The crime in your community needs to be stopped. Taps without water, water needs to be in the tap. The police station in your community needs to get up and start acting on crime. It is plaguing Trinidad and Tobago. We are on the map as some of the 6th highest country in the world, with crime level so high. How do we deal with it? Fitzgerald Hines, the ministry, he's a minister in the Ministry of Security, told us it is not his job to make you feel safe. So if you have a minister telling you that, are you still going to listen to him? And then the Prime Minister now is saying nothing's wrong with him doing his job. He's doing a fine job, in other words. He's doing a fine job now. Okay, put a pin on that. Scotland questioned the Commissioner of Police when he was the Joint Select Committee leader. Questioned the Commissioner of Police. After he finished questioning the Commissioner of Police, they made him a minister in the Ministry of National Security. You see? I know I didn't see that, but nevertheless, that is the outcome of that. So we're sticking with Kamala. She said the hype surrounding proposed change to the coat of arms was a ploy to keep citizens from focusing on rising crime, poor health care, lack of education, opportunities, increased unemployment, and high food price. Well, let's listen to this.
The PNM's general election campaign will be based on gimmick constitution reform, politically exploiting the reparations cause by trying to stir up emotions to cause division. Division. Don't go down that rabbit hole, please. Don't follow down that rabbit hole about these ships. That is not important at this time. They want to remove pre-independence symbols and names. They are weaponizing sensitive ethnic issues. I warn you. I warn you tonight, and everyone you know, please tell them, do not go down the ethnic division rabbit hole that Rowley and the PNM are trying to take you into. Don't go down there. Rowley and the PNM want us, and they want to keep you talking about Steel Pan and Columbus and Tassa. Don't go down that road, Madam Chicken. Don't go down there. Don't go down Steel Pan and Columbus and Tassa. Because you know why they want to talk about that, and some of us, we want to talk about it. I would love to, but that is not for me to do. You know why they want us to talk about Columbus and Steel Pan and what else, Tassa? Because they don't want you to talk about 5-year-old Anika, who was murdered. 5-year-old child in her mother's lap. Shot in Maruga last night. She was shot 5 times.
So viewers, we are going for a short commercial break. But when we come back, we're going to discuss issues facing our country right after.
Become a member of Real Talk Credit Union, now located at number 14 Coroni Savannah Road, Chagonas. Open a fixed deposit with Real Talk Investments and get 4% on interest with interest payment being paid upfront. Get in contact with us at 238-6716, 231-6219 or 339-1670. Real Talk Credit Union Cooperative Society Limited. Plant a seed today for a better tomorrow.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Real Talk Report Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Real Talk Report Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Coroni Savannah Road, Chagonas or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
When life throws you a curveball, and you need a clear path forward. Trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the glaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
So welcome back to Real Talk, viewers. Remember, viewers, we are offering you 4% on fixed deposit. Remember that don't let other financial institutions give you less than what you think you should get. We are offering you 4% on fixed deposits. Remember that, viewers. 4%. How much is 4%? Okay, good. If you invest $100,000 for 5 years, instead of getting 1.5% for 5 years, which is $1,500, or 2%, which is $2,000, we are offering you 4%. So 4% on that 5 years is going to bring you to $20,000 at the end of 5 years on $100,000. Now, with that, you can pay down on a car. You could repair your house. You could put it in the savings. You could go for a vacation. You could buy a nice watch, a nice train. You could do something constructive with $20,000 up front. No other financial institution is giving you that. Remember that, viewers. So also, Real Talk Credit Union opened its doors to the people of South 25 Superior Street in San Fernando. Be members of the credit union. Buy shares. Open a savings account. Start planting a seed today. So in the next 4 to 5 years, you could reap the benefit of it. Remember that, viewers. So Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley have stated that if university lecturers who teach politics cannot be bothered to follow what the PNM is saying and doing, it is in its special convention, they should be fired. You know, the Prime Minister loves to fire people, eh? He was defending the PNM right to decide on a position on the report of the National Advisory Committee on Constitutional Reform. But keep in mind, the committee did not advise the Prime Minister or anything to do with the coat of arms. The Prime Minister knocked political analysts who said the party option or the party's opinion on constitutional reform should not matter in a wider national context. The Sinanan-led committee published its report from consultation with the public on August 15th. The report listed a myriad of change to the Constitution, including the appointment of an executive president and changes to the appointment process of the Commissioner of Police. After the report was published, the PNM appointed a special committee to examine it and submit recommendation on changes to the party. I'll listen to this.
So, the misinformers are saying, because the PNM has prepared for that, it had to be that the PNM had something before that others didn't have. and therefore the PNM is making a PNM position. And I can tell you, one of those university lecturers actually got quoted today saying, the PNM's position in this matter is to be dismissed. How can you have in this country a conversation on reform of the Constitution, review of the Constitution, anything to do with the Constitution, and you are not prepared to accept that the PNM will be a major player in that? The PNM, that one is the government, two is the most experienced political entity in the country, and three, as government, if the PNM does not drive this engine, it does not leave the station. But you get that kind of comment from people who believe that nothing should happen because their political agenda is not being served.
Now, viewers, he was asked how conversations on constitutional reform could happen without the PNM's input. The PM said the party was in government. It was the most experienced, and it drove the conversation on reform. Rowley said that if you really want to work for this country, it is not the PNM you must be concerned about. It is those who decide. I am not taking part in that. Listen to this now.
But if you really want to work for this country, and there's a discussion like this taking place, it is not the PNM you must be concerned about, you know. It is those who decide I'm not taking part in that. And you must ask them what you're taking part in. If you can't find it within you to take part in preparation for or signaling that you will not take part in the conference, then what then is your agenda? Is it that you are satisfied with what is there now and there's no need for reform of the Constitution? Or that you couldn't be bothered to spend time informing yourself to come to a position to join and contribute?
He said those who did not want to contribute to this conversation were free to do so. The PM noted that if you are a lecturer in a university and your job, paid by taxpayers, is to teach politics, and if you don't find out what the PNM is saying and doing in the conventions, then you should be fired. Oh, let's listen to this one.
Well, if you don't want to contribute in that, why should the population put you to contribute in the parliament? You have another business. You have another idea. And of course, they're free to do that. But what galls me is the people who are supposed to lead the national conversation, like those who chose to comment today and start off by saying, I don't know, but I didn't listen to it, but. Well, if you couldn't be bothered, if you are a lecturer in the university and your job paid by taxpayers is to teach politics, and you couldn't be bothered to find out what the PNM is saying and doing in convention, then you should be fired from the university.
You think it's easy? It's not easy in Parliament, you know. So moving along. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley agrees that the process for the appointment of a police commissioner and deputy commissioner of police must be reviewed. Dr. Rowley positioned following recommendation arising out of the National Advisory Committee on Constitutional Reform report. Dr. Rowley said an evaluation and assessment of the process is important so as to minimize disruption in police operation. I'll listen to this. I'm gonna love this.
Well, certainly it has to be reformed, but I don't know if it will be reformed in the Constitution. If it's there, because that's a process that is quite annoying. We used to have a very simple, straightforward process where the Service Commission would make a recommendation, and unless the Prime Minister had a reason to veto it, invariably it went forward as the work of the Commission, having not been vetoed.
According to Rowley, the agitation over the process came after commentators suggested that it was more prime ministerial than going to the parliament, than having the parliament make a decision by a majority political party as to who the commissioner is. The PM said the proposal will continue to be assessed and will feature in upcoming parties' discussion. So Trinidad, hold on, Director. So Trinidad and Tobago, do you think that the parliament choose the commissioner of police we have now? Listen to this video.
It is a continuous merry-go-round, and that is not good for the police service. I'm sure we can reform that, put something in place that allows good officers to rise to the top, the good ones, the excellent ones, or you can infuse every so often at certain levels persons who are trained and who would have been prepared for the jobs, and the younger police officers could always rely on good management at the top. That's what we're aiming to do.
Call good night. Hello? Hello? Guess we lost that. So now, viewers, the Joint Trade Union Movement, JTUM President Ansel Roger, have stated that Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley should resign as head of the National Security Council, as he has the blood of citizens on his hands. Roger accused the government of failing in its responsibility to ensure the safety of citizens. He said it did not appear to him that the government treats addressing crime as its primary responsibility. Listen to him.
That we have a situation where we have a runaway crime and murders, and the government is as if they don't care, but it is not their responsibility. It's the responsibility of everybody else. So it's the parents, it's the churches, it's the teachers, it's the man in the streets, it's everybody else, except those whose job it is to protect us and to keep us safe.
So now Trinidad and Tobago, I listen to what Roger have to say. Now, being a union president, you have a call a good night?
Yes, sir, good night.
Go right ahead, my friend.
Saeed, the mark right? And for the local election, the PNM was going with the whole campaign of local government reform.
Correct.
And then they hold back all the councils for a whole year with this local government reform. So what happened to that? Anything bear fruit from that? They're coming now with constitutional reform now. They're trying to tell people if you vote for them, they'll get constitutional reform.
Correct.
I'm trying to understand the election campaign here, you know. And honestly, after 9 years, they're coming now. After 2 terms, they come and tell people about constitutional reform.
Correct.
After people have nothing else in them to go against. But I'm trying to figure out how it is calling members now. Coming with this whole theory that people banking their money home.
Correct.
I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to figure that out, but let me ask you a question. You think it's a situation where people are not going to the bank to put their money? That is why they're getting the feeling that people banking their money home?
Could be.
Let me tell you something, eh? People just don't have the money anymore to put
in the bank. Correct.
Because everything going up. When you go in the grocery side, one trolley is 3,500 now.
Correct.
When you pay $1,000 for now, it's about $3,000 you're paying in the grocery. So people don't have that extra cash in their hand to stay home or to go and put in the bank. People using everything now. You're living
well
by
said.
everything you're working for now.
Yes.
That's how I'm telling you. But I'm asking something, right? If Colin Members could come and he could figure out that people saving their money in their house, right? Why they don't make it the National Security Minister since he can find out all these things? Maybe he can go and find out where all the gangs is and all the gang members.
Well said.
And TPPS can go after them. What do you think about that?
Well said.
What do you think about that?
Yeah.
And watch me, before I go, this whole thing about the police commissioner, I think that the politicians have too much influence on the police commissioner.
Correct.
That is why all the senior superintendents and all the sergeants and nobody have respect for the woman. Because all she's doing is taking instructions from people who don't know how to fight crime. You understand what I'm saying? So these people would not have no respect for she. I don't have no respect for she and I as civilian. But just some people are working on that anyway. Anyhow, sorry, you enjoy your night.
Thank you, my friend. The criminals don't care about the coat of arms. What they boast about is that they have their own arm and ammunition. All of those politics of distraction will do the public no good. Listen to Roshi.
For the criminals, it's not about the coat of arms. The criminals don't care about coat of arms or so. What they boast about is that they have arms, their own arms and ammunition, unlimited, to service their trade. So they don't care about nothing but the coat of arms. As a matter of fact, all of those politics of distraction will do no citizen any good 6 feet under.
So I'm asking myself, Roger is a union leader. There are thousands of citizens who have joined the union. Why not call for a 2 days or a 3 days march for peace in Trinidad and Tobago? Why not call for a 2 days or a 3 days of marching with the thousands of union members for the Commissioner of Police to step down? Why not keep a 2 days or a 3 days march in Trinidad and Tobago with thousands of members who join the union for the police to start acting swiftly? For change in Trinidad and Tobago. Why not that, Mr. Roger? You see, I am not a union leader, otherwise I would have been having march very often. Very, very often. To show concerns for the union members, being the head of the union. Me being the head, I would have done that very often to show my people that I care for them and I will represent them and I will stand for them. Also stand for country. You see, there's the difference. That is the difference. He added, unless we tackle crime in a holistic way, people up to the task will continue to be this problem in a day-to-day situation. Trinidad and Tobago, to listen to this man one more time.
Being a prime minister does not make you competent in terms of fighting crime and being head of National Security Council. But once you have been a competent prime minister, it makes the situation worse. Unless we tackle crime in a holistic way, by competent people up to the task, we will continue to be in this problem day in and day out.
You are the head of the union. You are the head of a union where thousands of Trinbagonian are members. Get up as a leader and do something. Set an example. Call out your members for a 2 days or a 3 days march in Trinidad and Tobago for a change. For a change in the health sector. For a change in the schools. For a change on the road. For a change the Commissioner of Police. Change the Minister of National Security. make a change. It's thousands of people that will be marching the streets. Thousands. Be a leader. Show Trinidad and Tobago you could do it. Show the country, you and your team, you could do it. But are you going to do it? Deputy Commissioner of Police, Junior Benjamin, have stated that while the police increase their use of body cameras, they can do better in ensuring that they are used at all times and footage is supplied to the police complaint authority for probe into police involved incident. I'll listen to this.
I agree that probably there's even more that needs to be done. Let me just say that that's why we want to ensure that when we purchase the body-worn cameras, we want to ensure that we have value for money. We are looking at having body-worn cameras that could stay on at least for a good 78 hours so that persons cannot complain that the problem is the battery, because in the past, persons were saying that there was problems with the clips and the battery.
Now Trinidad and Tobago. After listening to Benjamin, now listen to this. Police Social and Welfare Association President ASP Gideon Dixon said there was no legal obligations for the police to share video footage with the PCA, the Police Complaint Authority. Dixon said, while he encouraged the use of technology, the PCA is an independent investigative arm which is not mandate to receive the request for information. So what have to be done here now is that they need to go to Parliament. They need to bring out legislation where PCA could actually ask police officers for their body cam footage when they go on a raid. It have to be administered, it have to be debated, it have to be passed with a majority, and then it will become legislation in Trinidad and Tobago. Only then and there can the PCA, Police Complaint Authority, ask for footage. Until then, nothing cannot be done. It's sad. But then say what? This is Trinidad. This is Trinidad. So viewers, we have come to the end of our program tonight, but nevertheless, I must say thank you for watching. Thank you for making us the #1 current affairs program in Trinidad and Tobago. Remember, it's 4% on fixed deposit. Also remember to be a member of Real Talk Credit Union. 2 locations, Carolina Savannah Road in Sugar Owners and Sipero Street in San Fernando. Until we meet again, good night.